Good morning, everybody. Well, it's morning here anyway. So, previously I made some broth. So today, I'm going to be canning broth. But right now, what you see is what the broth look like after it's been in the refrigerator. See all that grease up there? So I'm going to skim off.
That's not greasy. Isn't that fat?
Ain't fat greasy.
But it's called fat. It's not called greasy.
Actually, there's another technical term for it, but I can't think of what it is right now. But anyway, I don't want the fat in my broth, okay? So I'm going to skim it off before I can it, and I'm going to let you see what it looks like when I come back after skimming all that fat off.
Is it counting?
There you go. Okay, yeah, it is. I'm like, where the numbers at? Numbers be moving. Anyway, because now it's over that end. Sometimes it be there now. But anyway, whatever. Okay, y'all, I'm back now, and I want you to see how much fat I was able to get off. Look at all that fat. That's skimmed off top, okay? Like I said, some people like to keep that. I don't know what they use it for. Probably is, I don't know, cooking, whatever flavor. Because I can see some seasoning in it. If you look closely, you can see some bits of seasoning still in it. And it does still smell good. But I really don't want all that in my broth. So, what I'm going to do now, I'm just going to heat this up. And when I come back, I'm going to start canning some broth. Anyway, be back in a minute. Well, seconds to you. Okay, everybody, I'm back, and I got my stock. It's already heated up. I don't know if you can see the steam coming out of that. And really, this is so simple. I'm going to be processing this in pint-sized jars. You can use quart-sized jars if you like. But I really think for my family use, we do better with quart-sized jars. And out. I got them heated up in my pressure canner. You don't have to heat them up in the pressure canner if you don't want to, but I'm trying to save space because the kitchen ain't that big. Okay, very simple. This is the simplest of canning, really. Like I said, I have it heated up. Get a little bit closer, so I won't make such a big mess. And when you heat your broth, I would suggest not letting it come to a boil. You just want to heat it up because you're not trying to kill the nutrients in it. Remember, it was processed at a low temperature, so you want to, keep those nutrients that are in there. Okay. And like I said, we're going to leave 1 inch head space. You can use the end of your debubbler to check your head space. This first notch right here is 1 inch. And it's perfectly 1 inch. Okay. You either do it that way, or you can go by the rim of the glass, because the glass is hot, so I ain't been trying to pick that up. This big rim right here at the bottom, that's 1 inch. If you turn the glass around to where you can see where the rings overlap, the top ring overlaps itself. Okay, if that's 1 inch, the one in the middle is 1/2 inch head space, and the one at the top is 1/4 inch head space. So that's a way to do it if you don't have a debubbler like this. Okay, the first notch is 1/4. Then 1/2, then, no, I'm sorry, it's 1, then it's 3/4, 1/2, and then 1/4, okay, I don't know why I couldn't get that out, but anyway. But the other end is also debubbling too. But you don't have to use it. Well, I don't have to use it right now because this is just liquid. So there's no solids in it, so there's nothing to debubble. But, however, I do need to take my paper napkin. You can use a paper napkin or a clean towel, whatever you want to use. And dip it in some vinegar. And you want to wipe the rims of your glass. Ooh, this thing hot. And the purpose of that, because you don't, I mean, we're dealing with fats and stuff that's in this. And you don't want anything on your rim of your jar to keep the lid from sealing. Okay. So I'll put my lid on. Oh, and also, and I don't say it that often, but make sure that when you wash your jar, because these jars are clean, okay? They're clean. I wash them with warm soapy water, rinse them out, and then I put them in the canner to let it warm up with the water. Make sure you're always checking the rim of your glass to make sure there's no chips or cracks in it, because you're doing this to preserve it, and you want to make sure that your product stays good. Okay, and also when you put your ring on, notice I put the lid on, then I put the ring on. Okay, when you put the ring on, you're not gonna crank it real tight. You're just gonna gently close it and then just turn this a little bit. They call it fingertip tight. Okay, and that's my first jar. I mean, look at that. Look at that broth. I mean, can y'all see that? I'll make sure get a light background so you can see it. You see how dark that is? This is chicken broth. That is rich. And this is what I wanted. Okay, this my first jar. I'm not sure how many jars I'm gonna get out of this. This will be pressure canning, and in the pressure canning, the ball book of canning tells you if it's just chicken broth, which means you just made it with chicken and water basically, okay, and your little seasonings, then you would process it for 25 minutes. But when you go to the vegetable broth, they tell you for pint size, you process for 30 minutes. So I did a combination. I have chicken, and then I also had my aromatics in it, which was celery, onion, and bell pepper. So based on that, I'm gonna go by the one with the most time, okay? Which the vegetable broth is 30 minutes. So I'm gonna be processing this for 30 minutes. And make sure you get you a good book. Like I said, I use Ball most of the time. There is another book. I can't remember the name of it now. It's National something. Okay, I'm gonna see if I can get it, and maybe we can put it in the link so you guys know. That's the one. I don't know why I can't think of the name of them. I've been saying it for the longest time. I can't think of it. But anyway, get you a good reputable book. You know, there are some authors out there that will put out books, and some of them, from my understanding, matches what everybody else says. Hold on. Just a moment, because this is bugging me. Let me find. I'll tell you just a second what it is. It's called the National Center for Home Canning and Preservation. They have a book also, but I always go by the Ball book. But Ball goes by the same rules that are in that book. And so I kind of like the recipes that Ball has. They haven't steered me wrong yet. So I'm going to hang with them. Right now I'm their ride or die. Now sometimes I do get some recipes off the internet. I might Google some recipes. some of them, I watch other canning videos. I might get things off of other people. You know, they might put a little switch on it. Like, okay. But you want to make sure you learn. When you're canning, you need to learn what you can do and what you can't do. Because there are certain things that you would normally do in an everyday cooking that you would not do when you're canning. Like, for instance, if you're making, okay, let's say you want to use your broth made chicken soup. You may put noodles in your soup. You can't can noodles, okay? It's things like that you have to be leery of. You can't can things that that have, you see, things like with flour or dairy. Although you will find some people who do things like canning butter and canning milk. Keep in mind, those methods are not approved by the National Center of Food Preservation, whoever the folks was, I just said. Certain methods are not approved, even though some people may have been doing it for years and they may not have any issues. Now keep in mind, when I say it's not approved, it doesn't mean necessarily that it's wrong. It means that it hasn't, they haven't tested it, okay? So for me and my family right now, I'm not feeling like a rebel. So I'm sticking to what's been proven. So yeah. Because most of the people that, you know, come up with their own recipes and stuff, they've been doing this for years and years. I haven't been doing it for years and years. Could have been. Because really, I should have taken advantage to learn from my aunt many years ago, which, well, really, she's the reason why I'm doing this. She's no longer with us. But many years ago, when I say many years, let me see, Michael is 22. No, go back AJ, because Michael wasn't born yet. AJ is 25. These are my kids, okay? So when AJ was a baby, I was staying in the country, and, you know, my aunt lived in the country. I asked her to teach me how to can, because I just wanted to learn. You know, sometimes, you know, I told you I just like to learn stuff. Anyway, she told me, she said, well, Sandra, just get you some get you some jars, and come on. I went and bought the jars, but I never did go back to her. And I hate that I didn't learn from her. Which I did learn some things just being around them, obviously. But I didn't learn what I wanted to learn from her. You know, we're talking about family, you know? So, and so now she's gone and I can't learn from her. But when I can, I do feel like, she's like, okay, girl, you can do this. So, anyway, but it's cool. But anyway, like I said, the processing time for this is going to be 30 minutes because I have used both chicken and vegetables in my broth. But I'll be back in a minute when I get everything in the canner. Okay, I've gotten so far 9 pints in the canner. Now this, like I said, this is pressure canning. Now I can get a total of, with these paint jars, I can get a total of 18, I believe. Yeah, 17 or 18, I forget. Anyway, but like there's 9 down there, so another level, I'm thinking maybe, like I said, 18. But instead of going ahead and doing other paint size jars of this, I'm going to mix it up because I'm going to can some more stuff using my broth. But anyway, when I come back again, I'm coming back after everything's processed. When you could deal with low acid foods like broth and vegetables, well, chicken, well, meats and vegetables, put it that way. just kind of summing it up. You have to pressure can because they're low acidic foods. Okay, so when it comes to other foods like fruits, well, mostly fruits, you can water bath can those. Okay, and when I say fruits, okay, I'm putting tomatoes in there with it in case y'all didn't know tomato is a fruit. Okay, but anyway, but not all fruits can be water bath can. Like for instance, something like zucchini. It's a fruit, but it needs to be pressure can. Okay, so anyway, I'm gonna let these process, like I said, for 30 minutes, and I will be back in a little bit. Okay, y'all, this is the beef broth. I just took them out, and for the beef broth, like I said, you want to pressure can it because I got vegetable stock in mine. Mine's a mixture of vegetable and, not beef, vegetable and chicken. And I guess the reason why I said beef broth because it's so dark. Normally beef broth is the only one that's this dark. But anyway, I pressure canned it for 30 minutes because like I said, I process mine with vegetables. Normally it would be 25 minutes for pint-sized jars of just chicken broth. Okay, and also the reason for the dark color in my broth, when I put onions in it, I put white onions or yellow onions, whatever you call them, but I also put more of the red onions in it. So it's indicative of what you put in your broth too, okay? But anyway, that's my broth. And I got 9 pints. Really, I got 10 pints. But, well, almost 10 pints. But the canner doesn't hold that much because along with my chicken broth, I also canned some pinto beans. And I got pinto beans with the chicken broth in it. So anyway, but there you go. I'm very happy with what I have. And I'm learning more and more about the pressure canner. I'm really happy with this one because it was very little siphoning. And let me show you what I'm talking about. See how clear my water is? It's just a little bit in there. But I'm very happy. Very happy. So the reason why I haven't talked too much to you guys about... Oh, let me get my timer. The reason why I haven't talked to you guys too much about the pressure canner yet, because I'm learning myself. And I'm learning that even though as much studying as I've done, there are some things that you go through when you're canning yourself that you realize, that you encounter, that people haven't answered those questions. I'm like, well, why this, why that? So as I learn, I'm taking notes. So when I talk to you about the pressure canner, I can give you more informed information. So anyway, see y'all next time. I think next time I'll be doing corn. I think. Yeah. I gotta get the shucking for corn, y'all. Woo-wee. Anyway, see you later. Peace out.